Hey guys, this is John,
Hey, it's Paul.
and this is What If Geeks. And let's see, this is we're getting to the end of February. We're not naming episodes anymore. Screw it, we're done with that because we can't get this right. Today is Tuesday, the 26th. So last week we dropped the Geeky Award episode, and because I screwed up and didn't change the drop dates in Spreaker, you guys also got our video game episode that we had sitting in the wings.
Hey,
so,
look at you.
Congratulations. Happy February, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah. So that happened. That was a thing. So now we're scrambling to record more shit. So we'll see what happens. So how's everything going? What's up?
Good. How's your week?
Interesting. Caught a cold Friday, and then that was, I was fighting that all weekend, so that was great.
Right.
But, it's been all right outside of that. Went to see How to Train Your Dragon, How to Train Your Mother, whatever. How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon's Mother?
Yeah. So we took Noah to see that.
Did he like it?
Sunday. Oh, he loved it. Yeah. It was really good. Now, that's the third one. It was, if you're going to do just a trilogy, it was a good trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really, really good. We enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
So, and I know you texted me, asked me if we had seen Ralph Breaks the Internet. So
We were I was gonna take Coleman to the Dollar Theater to see it. We ended up not going.
Yeah. Well, I know Heather was just talking about getting ready to buy it. It's coming out like it just came out on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. So if we buy it, hey, bring them over and they can sit and watch it together.
That's right.
So
We were gonna rent it on demand on one of the apps, Prime or something. It's only out to buy right now, and I didn't want to.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't want to own it on digital, so just
well,
wanted to go see it.
When we buy it, I'll buy the digital. I'll give you the code for it too. So we'll see how many times we can download it. All right. So let's see what's in the news. Something I wanted to talk about. Because next week, I know you're not going to be here, but we'll figure something out for that. Next week will be like 2 days before Captain Marvel drops. So since you're not going to be here, we can kind of briefly run over that. Because have you seen any of the rumors popping around the internet?
So the only thing I've seen is, I don't know if you told me this or somebody else told me this, but people are posting fake reviews in order to tank it on either Rotten Tomatoes or somewhere else, and I'm not sure why you would do that.
Yeah, well,
like, dear shitheads, stop it.
Yeah, because it's it's the I don't know how to describe them, because it's kind of like the alpha male insecure. It's the insecure male that doesn't want to see, because a lot of the other stuff, the other side of it is they're complaining that it's a feminist movie, and it's got an agenda, and Brie Larson hates white men. And if you do watch their take on it, it does look that way. But I mean, at the same time, it's also, look at how Marvel has marketed everything. I mean, I think it's going to fall right in. It's going to be a strong female lead and whatever. But I don't think they're kind of running to one extreme with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those are the people that are trying to tank it. So I mean, I'm going to be there regardless. I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, I will be there.
Yeah, if they're right, okay, whatever. I mean, some of the interviews I've seen with Brie Larson don't exactly look good, but it wasn't really like, I don't know. There was a lot of complaints that seemed invalid. Like, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, you kind of nitpicking some shit here, dude. Just
I haven't seen any of that. I did read an article that said the test audiences gave it one of the highest scores ever. And so I don't know now why.
It was all women.
Maybe, I don't know. But like, I don't understand why we're afraid of strong female leads in movies. Like, what's the big deal?
I don't know. Well, and it goes right back to like what I said before, where you can have a strong female lead and you don't have to shove an agenda down my throat, Like I saw an article earlier today talking about they compared with this one. They feel this one is really shoving this whole feminist agenda, and where they looked at Black Panther and they're like, the guy was like, as a white male, I didn't feel not necessarily threatened by the movie, but I didn't feel uncomfortable going to watch the movie. Where this one, I feel like they're telling me this is not for you or whatever. And it's, you can go back and look at all these different YouTube videos and shit of people talking about it. And I mean, I kind of understand where they would be coming from, but like I said, I think they're really going to extreme, much like everything else in the world with politics and whatever else.
Right.
People are going to extremes on either side is stupid. It's, meet in the middle and just enjoy it.
Yeah, everything seems to be based around identity politics now, and it just doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
This is a movie about a character who can fly in space and shoot, beams of energy. Like, leave all the politics and stuff out of it.
Yeah, like half of the quote they used was from when she made that other movie with Oprah Winfrey. It wasn't too long ago.
Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah, where basically like she was up in an awards and she said something like, do I care what some old white man said about A Wrinkle in Time? No, it's not made for him, whatever. And they like took that and ran with it.
It wasn't. It was made for young girls. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
But they took that and ran with that. Like,
please,
she hates white men and whatever. So whatever. Because everyone's got an agenda,
right? So
that's what I've been listening to the last few days is just people complaining about this movie and like, it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
and then it's gonna lead right into Avengers Endgame, and the whole thing is gonna end.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it. Keep your rumors to yourself. Sorry. Something that's not a rumor. I don't know if you heard about this one. I just read this article. It was brief, so I'm going to try to grab it here. But Google apparently is... That was my paper. I got notes. Google is reportedly planning to launch a Netflix for games. So basically they're going to do like a gaming streaming service where you'll get high-quality video games like your Halo and this and that, those kind of things. You can play on your phone or whatever. You can play on your TV without having a console.
Right.
I forget. It's called Project Yeti, so you can feel free to look that up, and maybe, we'll touch on that a little bit longer later on down the line when I get more info on it. But it was just a quick note that I saw that I thought was kind of interesting.
They would make all the money if they did that. If you didn't need to buy the hardware for gaming,
right,
and you could somehow, subscribe for a monthly price and play whatever you wanted for as long as you wanted. I don't know how that's going to work out bandwidth wise, but
right,
if they can figure it out, they will make all the money. Do you remember GameFly? I think GameFly is still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
It was like the early days of Netflix, right? The early days of Netflix, you had to get the DVDs came in the mail, right? You created your queue online. They send you 1, 2, or 3 movies at a time. You'd watch it, send it back. That's when you got your next. That's how GameFly was, which I thought was great, and I really like that service. I don't know. I think GameFly is still a thing. I think it's still out there. Yeah. I think they still mail you the games, and then you send them back, and they charge you for as long as you keep them. But yeah, there's got to be a system that allows you to, like you've mentioned with Nintendo on the Switch, where you can get all the old school games, or PlayStation will do this, or Xbox will do this with their libraries.
Yeah, I also read something briefly, and I didn't do enough studying on it, so we'll come back to it later when we talk about more video game stuff, and I don't accidentally drop that episode, where Xbox, or I guess Microsoft and Nintendo they've got a deal where you're going to be able to get some Xbox classics like Halo and Call of Duty and I forget what else, like Forza or whatever,
right,
on Switch.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Which is huge. That was cool.
Yeah.
So you get these guys playing together. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like getting the hardware is sort of a barrier for some people to play, because if you get, we may have talked about this before, you end up getting an Xbox, and then you look and there's a game that's going to be PlayStation only, like a Spider-Man or something else. You're like, you haven't gotten that one. Yeah. And I'm sure lots of people have multiple systems, but I always ended up getting one or the other. And so you end up missing out on something. So if there was a way to not have to make that sort of proprietary decision first, and then you just have access to the games, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes on both counts. That'd be kind of cool. I'm really interested to see how they do the whole Google thing. That'd be cool. All right, so
I'm surprised that's not an Amazon thing. That's a Google thing,
right? Yeah.
Like Amazon needs more money.
Well, true. I don't know. They left New York high and dry, so not gonna get into that. We'll touch that one later. Oh God! All right. Well, speaking of not New York, but how about Florida? What you got for Florida, man?
Oh, I got some Florida man. Hold on.
I got a couple for you too.
You go start.
All right. Florida couple accused of running illegal dental office out of a garage. Yeah. Northport, Florida. These two idiots were arrested Tuesday, and I just downloaded this thing, so it was like about a week ago. They got arrested for charged with practicing dentistry without a license and conspiracy to commit a felony. They accused of performing extractions, putting braces and crowns on patients. Basically, they were taking advantage of like illegal immigrants and stuff like that.
I was going to say you'd have to be either a complete moron or in some way forced sort of outside of traditional means of healthcare. That you're going to go to this guy's garage and subject yourself to that.
Yeah. So that's my first one.
So I need to say this at the beginning because I don't want people to get the idea that we somehow condone or think domestic violence is funny. So let me say that on the front
especially
end.
you, because you've already done like 2 stories about people hitting their wife with food.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue that. I'm going to continue that vein. Because last week I think, or 2 weeks ago, I think I had one where the guy hit his wife with a burrito.
Yeah.
This one, and again, domestic violence is not funny.
I don't know, Paul. 2 is a coincidence. 3 is the pattern. Okay. I'm just saying.
This one, report: Florida man allegedly slaps woman with a bowl of chili.
Okay. All right.
Escambia County, Florida, a man has been arrested for allegedly slapping a woman with a bowl of chili, as well as hitting her and pulling her hair. Again, that's not funny. Bowl of chili is funny.
According to one I thought you were going with. Okay.
According to the arrest report, 22, the victim told police she was in a parked car with her boyfriend when 33-year-old Jared Jenkins approached them. Jenkins then asked the victim who was in the car with her. The victim stated Jennings then pulled her out of the car and began to hit her with the face and body. Ran inside, came out with a knife. Where's the chili?
On her face, apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, used a bowl of chili in an assault, which is, again, assault's not funny, but man slaps woman with bowl of chili is a funny headline.
Oh my God. Nice. What else you got?
There is a story, and now I need to look it up.
Are you going to do the cookie one too?
I am going to do the cookie one.
See? It's a pattern.
Florida man arrested for allegedly throwing cookie at girlfriend.
I'm telling your wife to just stay away from you when it comes to food.
Wade Smith of Zephyr Hills was taken into custody after deputies with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office were called to the home he shares with his girlfriend. Smith's girlfriend said that he, quote, threw a hard piece of cookie and hit her in the forehead.
Nice.
That must be, like, it must have been stale or old to, like, really hurt.
Yeah. Well, what the hell are you throwing at her?
You got to see this guy. There's a picture of him. Look at this guy.
Oh, yeah. I saw it.
This is
now,
I get this is not a visual medium, but he's got a tattoo of a spider web, which probably means he's been in jail, that covers most of his forehead. Mm-hmm. He's got various facial tattoos that are like, one looks like the @ symbol. There looks like there's some words. As you enlarge the picture, it's not super clear. But this looks like a guy that hit you with a cookie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, he probably did, some good prison time, and in prison, hitting you with a cookie is foreplay. So. He was just trying to get her in the mood.
Do you have another one?
Yeah, actually, well, it's not a Florida man, but it happened in Florida, and I do this one for you because you were a little salty after the Patriots won the Super Bowl. So, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, huh? Apparently, got himself picked up on charges of soliciting prostitution. Yeah. That was, I guess, everyone went to Disney World, and he was like, guess where I'm going.
So, there's been a couple stories about this, and part of this is this place is probably some kind of sex trafficking ring, right? And again, that's really
they were
not
watching it.
Yeah, and that's not funny. and I've read some stuff about the women in there that are like the conditions in there are horrible and all that stuff. But why is a billionaire in a strip mall massage parlor?
They come to you
for $80. Like, what is that? And apparently, and I just heard this not too long ago, that it was like 11 a.m. and then he got on a plane and went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, see.
And so, like, but what is that? You've got all this money, and you're still gonna go get your jollies at a strip mall.
Yeah.
Like,
so you deserve to get caught.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, I did that really just for you. I had no dog in that fight at all.
There's also allegedly surveillance video, and some reporter's going to file a Freedom of Information Act and go get it. I don't want to see it because it's going to make its way on YouTube because those things always do. Yep. I don't want to see it.
No, skip. Go to the next video.
I will say the memes from this have been hysterical.
Because Tom Brady
most of them,
in the wig.
Yeah, they're mostly
great.
Tom Brady in a wig.
Yeah. Well, there was that one shot right after the Super Bowl where it looked like he kissed Tom Brady full on the mouth. You saw that?
Oh, if Tom Brady only knew. Where's that mouth at?
Son of a bitch, I'm buying it. Oh God.
So I've got another one, and this is not a Florida man. This is a woman. Florida commissioner accused of face licking, groping city manager resigns.
I saw that when I skipped it. Okay, yeah.
A city commissioner in Florida has resigned after the state ethics commission fined her over accusations she sexually harassed a former city manager by licking his face and groping him.
I get it.
They're at some kind of like city function, and she apparently just gets hammered, and she's like, it'd be a good idea right now. I should lick your face, and just gives him a big lick, and then grabs his junk. And he's like, Commissioner, really, I need you to let me go. She's like, no, come here.
Well, grab him by the whatever, and hey, good for the goose. I don't.
Yeah, except she had to resign.
It only took us like 2 months to get away from that whole no politics. Whatever.
Slowly creeping in.
Yeah. Again, I always say if we find it funny, I'm going to say it. I don't care. Because I think all of them give us material. I mean, please. Speaking of, something I didn't want to dabble in too much, but because it was politically related, but I just can't help it because everybody's talking about it, and I just find the entire scenario completely amusing. I guess I was joking with you in the text. I'm like, I'm going to caption this new bit. We sure his ass isn't from Florida. Jesse Smollett.
Yeah.
All right. Empire dude. Again, like when this first kicked off with him, I had no idea who the hell he was, whatever. What I initially heard back in January or whenever it happened was like I said, we're going to go over this briefly. I'm not going in depth on this shit. I heard he got jumped in Chicago, and I was like, oh, that sucks. I felt bad for him, right? Then it becomes a thing, right? It's just all over the news.
Yeah.
So they start talking about, it's a hate crime and this and that, whatever. So obviously, whoever doesn't know about this, you're under a rock somewhere, and I don't even know how you found us. So basically, the whole story short is there was a letter sent to the set that basically it came in an envelope that had MAGA in the return address, and the letter was just like it was like a ransom note kind of thing.
Cut out of a magazine.
Yeah. You basically a death threat to him, and had a picture of him in a noose with a gun, whatever, right? A gun shooting him or whatever, right? Then a couple weeks later or whatever, he's jumped on his way back from Subway. He tells he gets the police to come to his apartment and tells them, okay, there's these two guys jumped me, beat my ass. They were wearing ski masks and red MAGA hats,
yeah.
And tied a noose around my neck and threw bleach in my face and this whole thing, right? So they start investigating like they're supposed to. So Chicago PD's out there investigating, whatever. And they get surveillance from the thing and start to get people, people's input because people are trying to help out, right?
Yep.
Well, thankfully, when all these people are trying to help out, they start to piece this shit together, and they start looking at these two Nigerian brothers from the show. One of them's on the show with him, right? And I think it's also his trainer,
right.
whatever. So, long story short, it comes out that allegedly still, because he hasn't been to court, but allegedly, Smollett paid these two guys $3,500 to pretend to beat his ass, tie a noose around him, throw bleach on him, whatever. And there was a long thing on it. Apparently, I mean, he punched himself a couple times. That was the initial post that he put was a couple of cuts here and there, you know, and he talked about whatever. And then he was on Good Morning America and singing this whole song. And what did he say? He said, he was like, "Who would make this up?" Who would make this up?
That's going to come back in my check.
Okay, yeah. To me, again, we're going to just say alleged because they haven't gone to court. But the biggest piece to me that says, no, this is complete bullshit, is even when the superintendent of the police came out and did his speech, when they turned their views to him and started looking at him, I was like, uh-oh. Because something smelled funny to me. You know, I was like, I didn't even bring it up to anybody. I was like, this is weird. The superintendent said when they talked about the one shot they got of the two suspects in the case, and they showed him the picture, he was like, yeah, those are the guys that jumped me. Right. And he was like, and the superintendent kind of laughed. He's like, yeah, he told us those were them. And he's like, he didn't know we knew who they were. You know, they already knew they were the Nigerian brothers. Yeah. So you already kind of got your ass. So you got, now the latest is like they're trying to say that the check was for the trainer to train him for a commercial and whatever. But, no. There's so much, they're already saying there's so much evidence against him that's just ridiculous.
It feels like that he did this because he didn't want to get written off the show. And it was a way to engender sympathy so he doesn't get written off the show. And now that he's made it up, he's getting written off the show. Like I saw a headline that he's being written off the show.
Yeah.
He makes a ton of money every week. And
it wasn't enough.
Right. And so in trying to hold on to that, he went a little crazy. And now the very thing he was trying not to have happen has happened. Like he was trying not to lose the show. He lost his mind. He did this and now he's lost the show.
But I don't think it was only the show. And again, this is just me speculating, right? Complete speculation. But just in watching all the little clips and whatever, it seemed to me that he wanted to make himself a martyr, right? He said it in the interview, I think it was the Good Morning America interview. He said he's, I'm losing the word now, what he used, but basically he's a symbol for these people that are, like, for a gay black man or whatever. Right. I forget the word he used, but he's there. Whatever. And then he even said at some point, he was like, I'm the gay Tupac, or whatever. He used that term at some point. But I don't know, it's just what made me laugh, and again, this is why I kind of backed off. One, you're well aware that these things do happen, okay? What I'm more aware of is they don't happen as much as the media wants to make everyone believe they do. Okay, they want to put a negative spin on everything. It doesn't matter if it's race, religion, whatever it is, right? They're constantly trying to emphasize this negative shit, which is one of the reasons why I try not to talk about this stuff, because I want this show just to be fun, okay? But at some point, you gotta have a breaking point. Like, this kind of shit can't keep going on.
Yeah.
The media just embellishes this stuff and runs with it. They all ran with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like maniacs.
Oh, yeah.
Ellen Page was on Stephen Colbert, I think, talking about how this is the country we live in, and this is what happens when you have a leader that just blah 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 blah. She did everything but say the name Trump.
Oh yeah,
So,
no, some people have. Some people said it's his fault.
Oh yeah, well yeah, and I mean, Smollett said it because he said this is MAGA country, bitch.
Yeah,
that was the point where I was like, wait, Chicago? Really? Yeah, and then it was in the middle of the friggin' polar vortex. One, how freaking hungry are you?
Right.
2, you're getting paid $100,000 an episode. You have nothing in your fridge. Subway's not that good. There's discussion on whether or not that Subway was even open, the one he's talking about, but whatever. It was open. Give him that, because he had the sandwich. 3, you happen to be out in a polar vortex. I don't know what the freezing point of bleach is, but we'll get to that later.
Right.
And you're out there in the middle of the night, going to a Subway, freezing your ass off at sub temperatures, and you happen to find the 2 racist guys who watch Empire and know who you are.
Right. And they just happen to be hanging around with their MAGA hats on in the middle of downtown Chicago with a noose and some bleach, just looking for somebody to attack. I think it's damaging. Like, his story, this whole thing is damaging for a lot of reasons. It diminishes those that have been victims of actual hate crimes.
Yes,
which is bad,
and that's one of my problems with it.
Right. Everyone who was very quick to condemn the entire right politically, and Trump supporters and everybody else, did it very fast with no let's wait for the facts to come in. None of that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Now it is, well, we have to wait for the facts to come in. There's going to be investigation. Now it's pump the brakes. Let's wait for facts to come in. That was not the case immediately after he said he'd been attacked.
Yeah.
The other thing is, there is right now all the discussion is about fake news, and is that a thing or not? And the quick rush to judgment and the way the story was covered was very much, it was a thing that happened, and then it was, oh, well, now maybe it wasn't, and it feeds the right who want to say things are fake news. Yeah. When I don't recall how all the stories, if they said, he was allegedly attacked, or he said he was, or they just sort of went with, yes, he was attacked.
Right.
And so they were covering it as if it happened, or if his report that it happened. And there's a small difference there, but there's still a difference.
Yeah.
And then now now with everyone's story, the next person who really is attacked, a bunch of people are going to go, well, now we need to wait. Like, did it really happen?
Right.
Let's see. Now, right? And so now you've got, now there's this fake news of, see, we told you the media makes this stuff up. Well, the media didn't make it up. Jesse made it up. Jesse Smollett made it up.
The media just ran with it.
Right.
They didn't help anything at all.
They didn't wait for this investigation to happen. They ran a story. The same thing happened with, and I don't want to make this super political, the story of the kids from the private school that were in the argument. That was very quickly, like, everyone had decided in their minds, this is some spoiled private school kid who's now facing off this, this poor guy, and that turns out not how it went down.
Not at all. Yeah. Right. And hey, you want to know how you lose an election? This is how you keep doing it. But and that's, again, I come clean and be like, look, I lean right mostly, but I kind of stay in the center lane for a lot of things, and I can be persuaded. If you want to have a rational discussion about stuff, I can talk. And, okay, you make good points. When I watch presidential debates, right, I hear Democrats, and I'm like, this sounds pretty good, whoever's talking at the time, I might pick one or two things from one side, one or two things from the other, On the flip side of that, I find shit to make fun of on both sides too. Like I've said time and again, if somebody doesn't smack Trump's phone out of his hand, I'm going to cry,
right, because
he just doesn't stop. I don't agree with a state of emergency for a wall. I think they could have come to some type of an agreement there. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wall all the way. You can manipulate that and beef up some of the security. There's a lot that can be done there. There's across the board. There's stuff on both sides that you can rearrange and fix and come to terms, right, but nobody wants to, and that's the problem.
Yep.
So then you get stuff like this, and again, this goes back to the Smollett thing is, I need attention, and I think it's going to come out. Look, I pray the guy gets help because I think he needs help. I'm going to make fun of his ass the whole time, though, because you're an idiot. You came out here and you didn't think you were going to get caught. That was the other thing the cops said. They were like, they had no belief that they were going to get caught in,
Right.
in doing this, and he paid him with a check.
So here's the thing now. How does this guy make a living now? What will he be cast in? He's an actor. What's he going to get cast in now?
Oh, somebody will turn a blind eye to it.
You think?
Well, I'd like to think they wouldn't. Because, then you go right back to that meme where I saw him in a McDonald's hat. McDonald's ain't going to hire your ass either.
But like,
right.
so how do you... what's he going to be in now? Like, I guess there's something he can be in. I don't know what it is.
I'm sure.
But
I don't know.
But he's gonna probably go to jail for a little. He might go to jail.
I hope.
I
hope.
And he's sort of an outcast now. I mean,
Yeah.
all the folks that came to his defense initially, you can't.
Who
now.
have not come back at all.
Right?
And
You can't now. Like you.
Yeah.
Like he has to go away for a little while.
Presidential candidates.
Yes.
People have thrown their hat in the
Yeah.
ring for 2020.
Yeah.
And they haven't come. Then
Right.
they were like, "Oh,
But he's-
wait, what? I don't know what we're talking about."
He's not going to be in anything mainstream, certainly.
No.
So you just wonder how he's going to make a living.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, and this is, again, that's why I don't think it was just about the money. Because he said, I'm a gay Tupac, and I'm
Yeah, he wanted to be the.
I can't remember the damn word he used, but it was perfect for what it was. Everything he's basically a symbol for,
Yeah.
oppression and this and that, whatever. He's their, whatever. I keep wanting to go like apostle or whatever, but it's not that. It's whatever the fucking word was.
Yeah.
But that's what he wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to elevate himself. He wanted to put his hands out, put himself on a cross for everybody. Like, look at me.
Yeah.
And and people will love him or whatever. And sorry, you got caught.
Yeah.
So the only problem I had with the whole thing on the cops' end was when they had the speech and they talked about the superintendent came out at the that dude should be like the next mayor of Chicago. I mean, he was on point.
He'd been very.
He
good.
could speak, and he's been very diligent, and he gave everybody credit where it was due. At the very end, when they asked him, how do you see, what do you see as true justice, whatever, he didn't mention any kind of prison time. Man, not nail him to the wall. This is one thing. He said, he'd like to see reparations made for the faculties that we use to look into this, and yeah, I believe in that. An apology would be great too. You're not gonna get that because he already went and talked to his Empire crew and told them that he was innocent. Right. So yeah, he's still holding on to that. But he didn't say anything about any kind of prison time, and I would really like to see them try to push hard for that because not that I want to ever see anybody go to jail, but I think really if you start cracking down on some of this bullshit, it'll stop.
Yeah.
Or at least it'll cut back. Just like what's the old George Carlin joke about drugs? He's like, don't bother trying to kill the drug dealers; they're killing each other. He's like, you want to stop the flow of drugs in the country? Go after the bankers. You start locking them up or shooting them. If you start cracking down on people doing dumb shit and people doing illegal shit,
right?
Like really stop pampering people, and that's what we have to do. Crack down on them. If you crack down on some of these people, this country will start to mold back into something.
Right.
So that's it. All right, yeah, we got way.
That got super political.
There you go. There's your political rant for the day.
Right.
God bless America. But yeah. So and again, you know what? Anybody wants to discuss it, jump in the comments and jump on Gmail. I'll talk to you about it all day long. Again, like I said, I can always be swayed one way or another in certain things. Some beliefs, like when you do something stupid and you commit a friggin' felony for your own good, screw you. You're a piece of shit. So there you go. All right. So that was that. Thanks for sticking with us through that.
That's right.
But you never know. Don't worry. Next week I'll make fun of Trump. Paul won't be here, so I'll just start rambling about the friggin' wall and all this other bullshit that I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. So last subject, I guess we can talk about the Batman movie, right? I know. Really, they've just talked about 2021.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed it a little bit last show. Yeah. Whenever the fuck we talked about it. So we know Matt Reeves is directing it.
Yep.
And then I looked it up. Oh, hi. There you go. I looked it up earlier today, and I saw a comment he made that it was going to be more noir. Basically, something about like more of a personal viewpoint, I guess, from Batman's
Right.
point of view, which whatever that means. I mean, it's a Batman story. But it's going to be more noir, and it's going to really delve into the detective side of things that the other movies have not yet.
Right.
So, I know you mentioned maybe we can discuss some casting or whatever, or what we'd like to see. So, what kind of ideas you got?
So we talked about this a little bit, and I saw a meme, and I'm trying to find it, that they are in, DC is in talks, and I don't know if it's final talks or if it's where they are, but they're looking at Armie Hammer to play Batman.
All right. Okay. He was one of my picks.
Yeah,
we
mine
talked
too.
about it. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, you know what? Let's go through... back in the day, you remember Wizard Magazine?
Oh.
Wizard and Toy Fair?
Yeah.
All right. Wizard Magazine used to have the Wizard casting call.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do the geeky casting call. We're just going to start appropriating everything from everybody.
Right. We just stole it.
All right.
So yeah,
So
we
start with Batman.
So yeah, I mean, I think when we talked about this the other day, we each had a couple. I had Zac Efron and Armie Hammer.
Yeah, you really sold me on Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right, first story. Go with story first, and then let's go into characters. So if you're saying it's more noir and more of the detective side of things,
yeah,
I still want to see a good amount of the fighting style, because he's also saying there's a rogues gallery coming,
right?
Which to me would say, outside of a quick like pan through Arkham, like they try to joke around with the TV shows,
right?
That's the only way you get away from him fighting. So you know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's still going to be fighting in it. He's Batman. He could do the gadgets and the fighting, a la Michael Keaton, where he wasn't really moving that fast.
Right.
I'd like to see him move more like the Ben Affleck one in Justice League and BVS.
Yeah.
But
the problem is that the difference between comic Batman and movie Batman is it's usually the suit. Right, and the suit becomes so bulky, especially the Michael Keaton Batman. Like that scene in near the end when where he needs to look up to the bell tower.
Yeah, his whole body
shifts back because that piece is one solid piece of rubber, and so he can't lift his face up. And he's supposed to be the best, unarmed combatant in the DC universe, and they've always got this sort of super bulky suit, so that is somehow armored, and so he can't move. Like, there's never been a Batman movie where the fighting Christian Bale did it pretty well, but they were never like super high kicks or roundhouse or spins or any of that stuff, that because the suit sort of makes the movie Batman immobile. Yeah, and I think if you do something like you can't completely rip off Black Panther because you don't have like vibranium in DCU. But in the comics, he's got like a woven mesh type of stuff under there. Look, he's got where he can kind of work with it. You can do something similar where it's almost form-fitting like Black Panther. Right. But so there's ways to do it, and they can make it work. Yeah. I think if you just get more of a, dude, he's the richest guy in the world, and he's freaking Batman, and it's a comic. So we can suspend disbelief where, okay, the material that he has was created in a special lab or whatever. He got some of Superman's hair and freaking woven whatever. I don't care what it is. You can sell me on it if you say it right. Right. It doesn't have to be this big petty whatever. So yeah, get something like that. Armie Hammer or Zac Efron would be perfect in that. But for the story, I'm thinking if they're gonna do a detective thing, you got to do. I really do want to see Arkham Asylum. Give me like the first 10-15 minutes of like no origin story. We don't need that. Right. Give me like the first 10-15 minutes can be similar to the original Arkham Asylum game, where he pulls up in front of Arkham and he's like bringing the Joker in. Obviously, they don't want to touch Joker. Don't do it. Just wait. Bring him in later. But have him showing up to Arkham for something, whatever, and just give it that feel, it's this big, creepy, friggin' insane asylum, whatever. Yeah. You got to do something with Arkham. You can probably take a storyline even remotely out of the game, too. I mean, where he gets stuck in there for a little while. That'd be cool. I'd like to see that. That'd be kind of cool. Although most people have played the game. Hi. I think
some people would like to see that on the big screen. Hush, Long Halloween, Court of Owls, one of those.
Yeah.
Something that actually tests his brain a little bit.
The Nightfall series that DC did, in the, I guess that was the 90s, that ultimately led to a new Batman for a little while.
Yeah.
John Paul.
Yeah.
That you do it so that someone is pulling the strings of a series of letting out the kind of his rogues gallery that has got him exhausted and running all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just a means to sort of break him down, and then a Bane comes in or someone comes in that
because back then it was Bane, and that was really cool. So all right, so again, complete speculation. Outside of the story, I think I like the ideas that we got. Going casting, I just kind of briefly wrote down a handful of ideas. I don't know what you got. Batman, if they're talking Army Hammer, I'm good with that.
There's some stuff that says a couple stuff that says that he's not.
Okay.
Not in talks.
Well, because he was still in talks to do Green Lantern too, so they don't know what the hell.
That'd be cool. He'd be a good Green Lantern too.
Yeah. I would love to see that. All right, so
would Idris
I'm going to
Elba.
stick with.
I think we talked about this before. So would Idris Elba. Would be a good Green Lantern.
Yeah, he'd be great as John. Oh my God, John Stewart. Yeah. I'd like to see both of them.
Yeah,
it's a core. Make the whole damn. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do a movie about the Green Lantern Corps, and you can do a brief origin story. Just because Green Lantern, most people know it, and if you watch Captain Marvel, you'll have seen it.
Right,
it's the same thing. Essentially, I don't know exactly what take they're going on with the movie, but it's basically the same damn thing. You can do an origin story for Green Lantern, and then also show how there are multiple Green Lanterns from Earth running around.
Mm-hmm.
But for Batman, all right. So if they're not sure if it's going to be him, I'm going to stick with Zac Efron. Yeah, I really like that idea. You sold me on that one. So, I was thinking if you do a whole group of enemies, you can have kind of like the frenemy, the one that's not quite. You don't know what the hell they're doing. You got Catwoman,
right?
And you give me someone like Natalie Dormer from Game of Thrones,
right?
Yeah, she could pull it off. Like on that show, she had that. She's sexual, but at the same time, she's constantly using her brain too.
Right.
You can see it. So very. I think I can really see her as Catwoman. I don't know who else really. Other people were saying Anne Hathaway because she already did it, but I want to see somebody new.
Right. Maybe too.
All right. What other characters you want to see?
Okay, so who plays the Joker? I know you just said they're not going to do a Joker, so.
But if you're going to bring him in, shit, I just had an article up there too. I don't know where it went. Who the hell could play the Joker? I didn't like Leto, whatever the hell. I didn't like his version of him. Although I thought if you gave him a little bit more screen time and you actually gave him the scars and stuff, it might be better. While I'm talking, we'll go, who could play the Joker? I don't know. I don't want to see them cross into the Joaquin Phoenix one. And it's funny, too, because we're on... my brother-in-law and I had this discussion on that movie, because he's like, oh, did you see, they're making an origin movie? He's like, I can't wait for that. I'm like, I didn't need it. And my sister was in the background like, thank you. I'm like, I didn't need it, So we've had this conversation before. I'm going to watch it. Not crazy about it, but whatever. I'm not crazy about what I've seen. Oh, someone's got Willem Dafoe. He's definitely got the face for it.
At some point, he can't be all the comic book bad guys,
yeah.
right? Like,
but you
don't get to be all of them.
Yeah, but okay, but look at his face. He's already got the smile.
Yeah.
He's kind of like. Now he is older. I don't think you don't have to have a Joker that's the same age as Batman, but if they're gonna go younger Batman, you want to at least have a Joker that's relatively not Willem Dafoe age,
right?
A little bit younger. There's a few on here that are not bad. I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal, but he's already Mysterio,
Right.
so I don't think him.
You don't get to be all the superhero bad guys either, Jake Gyllenhaal.
There's a turn, Christian Bale.
Yeah, right. That'd be crazy.
That'd be nuts. I don't know. There's a few that have been, Johnny Knoxville, if he can act, he'd be all right.
Right.
The couple of things I've seen him in, he's all right. They had Johnny Depp on here. I could see it. So he's not going to be Jack Sparrow anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's still mentally Jack Sparrow, though, so I don't think he... Now, the way he became Jack Sparrow, I think if he took the role of the Joker, it'd kill him like it did.
Right.
He'd be done. Oh, all right. Okay, there's one. James Franco.
Yeah.
All right.
I can live with that.
Yeah, I can see him doing it. He's okay. Yeah. All right, Franco, you're in. Get it. Kill it. All right. I saw one for the Penguin. This guy, Josh Gad, is internet nerd dude. He's been, I don't know how many movies, if any, he's been in, actually.
Right.
But he's been throwing his name in the ring. And he's been saying that he's been auditioning for the Penguin.
Really?
But I haven't really seen if it's true, But if not him, because the pictures I saw of him, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see it. He's kind of heavier.
Jonah Hill.
I can see Jonah Hill. Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti.
That's good.
I thought it was horrible casting for the Rhino. I got what they were going for when they went with the whole tech suit and everything. It was stupid.
Right.
But I understood what they were going for. But yeah, I think he would be good.
Yeah, he would be good.
Yeah. Just nuts enough to do it. Let's see. The Riddler, they had, I saw one and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It would be Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Again, one of those where...
Be a super cool Riddler. Like...
Right? Yeah. think of the whole Lando thing, right?
Yeah.
He's smart enough and he really dives into a role, so he can get into that role of Edward Nygma. And again, all right, you're gonna call me out on when I talk about when you should or shouldn't change race. There, I wouldn't mind so much because you've got an actor of that caliber. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a classically white role, but it's just...
They're all classic. I mean...
yeah, they all are.
They all are.
And so it's just...
So you got to
when you get into the rogues gallery, you can start to play around a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do it with the Joker, even though he's behind makeup and everything. So actually, I mean, he's behind makeup, but nah, you couldn't really, because it was just the features are white. So it would be kind of hard to do it with a black guy. Yeah, I would go Donald Glover. That would be kind of cool. And if not him, like Neil Patrick Harris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think he would be really good.
Yeah.
I love everything he's in.
Me too.
And that'll get my wife to go watch the movie because she loves him. Yeah, she wants to be his hag. Sorry, Neil. Let's see. Anybody coming to mind as I'm rattling off my... I just started writing down names.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at your list.
Yeah, so... I'm going to knock shit over.
Riddler, yeah.
Let's see. For Victor Zsasz,
yeah.
remember we talked about, we kept saying we want to see him have more of a role.
Yeah.
Dude, what the hell is his name there? Is that Kirk?
Kirk Acevedo?
Yeah, he plays Ricardo Diaz on Arrow.
Okay. Right.
I could see him. He's on the show. He's a mob guy.
Yeah.
But he's a vicious killer and quick with a blade. So he's literally Zsasz, without the scars.
Yeah.
So you can see him, and the way he's real soft-spoken, kind of, so you can kind of see him playing that, like, real quiet, just talking all the time, mumbling or whatever, trying to get in Batman's head.
Yeah.
I could see him doing it. I thought if they went with Hush, you get a big name, because Hush, the storyline was Bruce Wayne's old friend,
right?
Childhood friend or whatever. So you get like a bigger name. And I saw one. When I saw this one, it was back when Affleck was still Batman.
Yeah,
And
so you
I
get
was
Matt
like,
Damon.
oh,
Yeah,
no,
that's
so
perfect.
they had Matt Damon.
Yep.
I was like, that would have been perfect. But I'm like, all right, you keep somebody like that. I'd go with either him or, oh, come here, dude. You going to bed? Tell everybody good night. Tell everybody there.
Night, night.
Yeah, I know he's going to bed.
That's Noah. Hey, Noah. See ya.
Love you. All right. That one will stay in. Now you guys know who he is. Yeah, so Matt Damon.
Matt
Damon.
Bat Damon.
Bat Damon. Yeah, there you go. Matt Damon for Hush, or another big name like, I don't know, you get like Leo or someone like that,
Yeah.
But you got to get someone who's going to counteract, because Hush was a big dude. He was physically able to fight Batman, so I don't know.
I like you have Clayface as Andy Serkis.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking
he does all the sort of, what is that called when you put all the ball things
motion
right?
capture.
Yeah, all the motion
when
capture.
you put all the balls on your face.
What's that thing called when you get all the balls on your face?
Ask the Patriots owner. Or the woman he was talking to.
Right.
Well, oh, I'm sorry. Family friendly? No. Yeah, I wrote down Killer Croc or Bane. More Bane after I thought about it, but I didn't write down the name yet because I didn't look him up. But dude that plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones.
Yes. Him or like Goldberg.
Yeah, all right. You put Goldberg as Bane, and then you put the Mountain as Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Because he don't have to talk
Right.
a couple of lines, and hell, you can have somebody voice over his lines.
Yep.
Yeah, you get like the Mountain, and then you actually have, I don't know how big Armie Hammer is, but I know the Mountain's just a tremendous dude.
Yeah.
Even if you pull like the Tom Cruise platform thing to make him even bigger,
Yeah.
you'll get that one shot that I described when we talked about it last time in the Arkham game when Killer Croc comes out of the elevator and he's just standing over him. A shot like that where he's just standing over him like, Batman's about to get his ass whooped.
Yep.
You know? That kind of thing. I think...
I think because there's been different iterations of Killer Croc that have been like, sort of half mutated alligator man, but there's also been ones where he's just like this giant guy who's just this jacked up face that's kind of scaly, right? Like in Suicide Squad, he was like half animatronic alligator person, and that looked weird.
And he was like my height.
Yeah. But if you did it like, like the croc part comes from having these scales from either, like just, picked off scars from meth or something.
Yeah.
But like.
We just made Killer Croc a meth addict. There you
Correct. But he still have to be big, but like just messed up looking because he did, some kind of drug that tears half his skin off.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of being a mutated alligator.
Some type of synthetic drug that they
right
for DC or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So something that's like siphoned from
Kratom. What's that? There's a designer drug out there now, Kratom or Kratom, I don't know how to pronounce it, that like causes that stuff to happen to your skin. It's like something like that.
Yeah, do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just make him a full blown freaking alligator. Not alligator, but the big ass dude.
Yeah.
Just put old boy in motion capture and let him run around like a maniac. Harvey Dent, somebody had a few things online. I didn't really have anybody for him yet. Any thoughts? Someone that I'm thinking if you're gonna move forward with a younger Batman and you're gonna go for at least a trilogy, I want to see, like we said before, like 5 movies.
Mm-hmm.
You can he's either not in this movie and he's in the next one, but wherever you put him in for the first couple of movies, he's just D.A. Harvey Dent.
Right.
He's not. He don't turn into Two-Face until 3 movies in.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, at that point, it could be just about anybody. It doesn't have to be. There's no specific type for that. Like whoever doesn't get the Batman role. I mean, because he's still sort of dashing and handsome. Yeah, that's perfect for John Hamm.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Yeah,
because you can do that as long as you don't do the Billy D. Williams and then Tommy Lee Jones.
Right.
The Chemical didn't do that much, but And then I was thinking, all right, the big question is this going to be connected in any way to what we've already seen? We're still going on that rumor. You know, like I said, you get rid of Justice League and BVS, right?
Right.
Because Aquaman only made a vague reference to Steppenwolf. But if you want to give a nod to that stuff, because this is a younger Batman, maybe, you could keep Jeremy Irons as Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
He's still young enough to play, because the other Alfreds were much older compared to, so he could still be Alfred. I kind of like that idea because you didn't get a lot of them so far, so I'd like to see what else he could do.
Yeah.
The original Commissioner Gordon in what's his name? He's in everything. In the Christian Bale ones. Dude that plays Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
He's in everything.
Right.
His name is going away from me right now. It'll pop in my head here in a minute. But I'd love to see him come back and do it again. Only because, now again, on the same note as Jeremy Irons, if you bring back J.K. Simmons as Gordon, he was in like 2 scenes, I think, so far. So you really didn't get anything out of him. It would be cool to see him come back and do something. But at the same time, I keep holding out hope that since they've kind of scrapped half of that shit, somehow Marvel will snatch him back up to be J. Jonah Jameson again. Because he
was good in that role.
Yeah, he was just, that's just Parker.
Yeah.
That's all I ever hear is his voice. So I'd love to see him go back to that. But if they can't do that, then I'm all for him getting another shot at Gordon, just to see what else they could do with the role. Because again, he was on the roof for like 3 minutes, and that was it. You don't see anything out of him. So
I like the guy that back to Alfred. I like the guy that plays Alfred in Gotham, the show Gotham.
Yes, he's really good. I can't remember his name.
Sean Pertwee.
Yeah, there you go.
Just because I looked it up.
Yeah. Well, and then now here you're gonna have a younger Batman. Because you've already touched on a lot of the rogues gallery. I was gonna say you can kind of like morph some of the show Gotham into the movie.
A little bit, yeah.
It'd be kind of a pain in the ass, especially since you've already fucked up the Joker.
But the Alfred. So thinking about the Michael Caine Alfred in the Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah.
Like the comic book Alfred he was a trained actor, but he's also a sniper, a medic,
right?
Kind of a badass.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got this kind of rounded guy, proper English gentleman, but can handle business. And but you don't get that sense from the Michael Caine role.
No. I mean, he talks about it. Remember, they talk about when in The Dark Knight, when they talk about when he was in the Special Forces, whatever, and they had to go after the thief.
Yeah.
So they burned down the whole forest because that makes sense.
But you just don't get the sense that Michael Caine could do that. If you handed him a weapon, he'd be like, what is this thing?
Yeah. But now Jeremy Irons or this dude on the show, you get that feeling. So I think either one of those, I think would be cool.
Yeah.
And again, it could be the subtlest of nods to the show to just have him be Alfred.
Yeah.
Don't touch anything else. Everything else is brand new, but just give him another shot at, okay, now you're in the movies, whatever. Right. So I think that's, and again, now if you want to keep it linked to everything, now we got our new Joker with James Franco. You toss some Margot Robbie. All right. She's back with Puddin'.
Yeah.
And she'll probably have a better time with that Joker than the Jared Leto one anyway. But I think you go a little more, you stay away from, a couple of the tattoos and stuff were kind of fun, but the overly, the prison tattoo with the face on the smile on the hand, and that was dumb. You go more with, again, back to the Dark Knight, Heath Ledger, scars. Jack Nicholson had scars. Mm-hmm. His face was just deformed. Whatever. It could be scars. It could be deformity. Whatever. Yeah. You do a deformed thing, and I think Franco could pull it off because he's already got a really wide friggin' grin anyway. And you just go that route. And I don't know. You can... run wild with whatever version you want to do. Do the animated series one, man. Just take bits of pieces of everything except the Suicide Squad one. Leave that one alone. just leave it alone. You know. But yeah, outside of that, I think that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, there's going to be a Joker though. I mean, because I think what they try to do sometimes is keep it contemporary in some way, and that's why he had the tattoo said damaged across his head. Like, there's going to be a Joker that instead of the scar, like he will have tattooed a grin with teeth on his face, right? Like, doing something messed up that somebody who's messed up would do.
Yeah.
That's going to be a thing at some point.
I know, and I don't want to see it, but hey, whatever. Like I said, Franco's got a big enough smirk on his face that he can kind of pull off. You can enhance it a little bit with CGI or whatever they do, and scars or whatever, make it look cool. Again, I always fall back to that Heath Ledger one. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that was a really good interpretation. Give me another good interpretation, and I'll run with it.
Right.
Don't give me the Leto shit again. So yeah, so that's it for me with that one. I think I'm looking forward to hearing what they really do. But that was our first What If Geeks casting call.
Yeah. You know what we haven't talked about? We haven't talked about how Black Panther got hosed at the Oscars.
Oh yeah, that's because none of you people responded to our email.
Hosed.
You gotta hit us up and let us know what you thought of our Geek Awards, and then and then we'll talk about all that shit too. But,
I watched exactly 0 minutes of the Oscars.
Oh, you too? Okay.
But I will say, after when I looked up the winners and found that Black Panther got, sound mixing and costumes, you're like, of course, that's going to happen. Like, that's going to happen.
First African American woman to win one of those awards, I think, was what they were saying. Because again, like you, I didn't watch any of it, and I only caught fleeting notes. So congratulations to them for that. I was glad for that. And I think Spider-Man won Best Animated or whatever, so that was great. Yeah. But yeah,
you had a chance. You had a chance to make history.
History.
Yeah.
Let's see. Predominantly Black American cast or African American cast or whatever. It's a black cast, all right? Black Panther. And on top of that, it's a superhero movie, so that's something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
And you give something like that Best Picture, you want to talk having no problems with viewership next year?
Right.
You have everybody watching the Oscars after that. So, yeah. So, I hope the Oscars tank and they just, go to YouTube or some shit. That's it. And again, like I said, I only saw a few things, and most of it was subtle political bullshit and whatever. And it was like, all right, it's fine.
I think the guy who played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage won Best Supporting Actor for the Green Book.
Okay.
Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
And he was in Luke Cage, and that's good. And Green Book's, got a African American cast to it, but not a just getting the nomination, I guess, is historical enough for a comic book movie to be considered in Best Picture, but it would have gone a long way to sort of legitimizing comic book movies as an art. Not they've been box office successes and critical successes, right? But not in the hardware awards. And a lot of the comic book movies win best sound editing and best, cinematography and those ones, but I don't ever consider those major awards. Great. Yeah. Costumes, whatever.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how they go. I don't know. Hopefully we got this far this year, maybe next year. Not that I really care, because, I've watched the Razzies.
Yeah.
And now we give out our own awards.
Right.
So screw you.
Our awards were better.
That's right. Ours were much better. So again, comment on there and let us know what you think of Black Panther getting hosed. They should have won.
Right.
So we were rooting for you guys. And then hit us up. Let us know what you think about everything we talked about. Political and not so political.
That's right. I don't know if we can promise that this was the most political we'll get, but this was more political than we've been before.
The more we lean into the stuff that we discuss, the more I'm open to us concentrating and focusing on geek culture, but kind of opening up the door to just make fun of everything. You know, so if there's something funny in the news like that, I'm gonna pick it apart.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I just can't keep my mouth shut. So it's quickly becoming, instead of What If Geeks, it's gonna be like What If Assholes. We can't help it. This is what we do when
That's
the mics
funny.
aren't
That's
on.
right.
So it's slowly seeping in. So yeah, hit us up. Let us know what you think of the episode and what you guys think of our cast and call. Who you would like to see in the movie. What you think the movie is even going to be about. And what else did we talk about? Okay, let us know how excited you are for Captain Marvel. Because I think if I'm here by myself next week, that's all I'm going to talk about. So we'll talk about kind of Captain Marvel and the future of the MCU or whatever. But yeah, hit us up. Let us know.
Awesome.
We are at whatifgeeks@gmail.com and on Facebook.
Yeah, hit us up. Subscribe, review, do all that stuff. But yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks. Later.
See ya.